Now I'm going to take the learning from the earlier videos and transfer it to naming ionic compounds using the charges that are found on the periodic table. So I've already placed one metal ion of calcium, and calcium has a charge of +2. Calcium will combine with a non-metal which has a negative charge, and in this case I've chosen fluoride, a fluoride ion with a charge of -1, to react with my calcium. So I need to add fluorides to my calcium until the overall charge on the compound is 0. I have 1 calcium and 1 fluoride at this time. +2 and a -1 do not add up to 0, so I will need to add more fluorides until my compound is 0. I've added 1 more. Now calcium 2+ and fluorides, each with a charge of -1, and there's 2 of them, will add up to 0 because +2 and -2 equals 0. I have created the correct compound for this ionic, and the compound name is calcium fluoride. And the compound formula is CaF2, and it's F2 because there are 2 of them. I'm going to do another ionic naming example. This time I have a nitride ion with a charge of -3, and it's going to react with sodium. Each sodium ion has a charge of +1. So I will add my first sodium, and I will check, does this add up to 0 overall? And the answer is no. So I will keep adding sodiums until my charges overall add up to 0. So we have a -3, and now I have 2 sodiums, which is a +2. +2 and a -3 is not 0, so I'm going to keep adding the sodiums until it does. And here's 1 more. So I have a total of 3 positive charges +3, which is combining with 1 -3 charge for a total overall value of 0. My compound name and formula is correct, and I will write it out. So the correct ionic name for this compound is sodium nitride. And when I write my chemical formula, I need to include the correct number of ions of each element. So I have Na, and there's 3 of them, and nitrogen, there's only 1 of them. Notice I've always written the metal first in my name and the non-metal second. For this example, I'm going to combine a calcium ion with a charge of +2 with a nitrogen ion that has a charge of -3. And again, I hope you can see that a +2 and a -3 do not add up to 0. So we will need to keep adding these ions until we have an overall compound that adds up to 0. So I will add another calcium. Now I have a +4 being balanced by a -3. This does not add up to 0, so I will keep adding. I have added another nitrogen or nitride ion. Now I have a total of -6 and a +4. I will add 1 more calcium, and I will achieve my goal of creating an overall neutral compound. I have a +6 in the calciums, and I have a -6 in the nitrogens, for a total value of 0. I have written my chemical formula correctly, and I will write it out here. So the chemical name is calcium nitride. Notice I'm writing the metal first. Calcium nitride, and the chemical formula is Ca. There's 3 calciums, and there are 2 nitrogens. Calcium nitride, Ca3 and 2.